Welcome to the NXT Podcast, your home for weekly NXT reviews and insight.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
Find all of your NXT news, recaps, and analysis right here. So with that being said, we only have one question for you.
Are you ready?
We thought so. Let's get the show started right now.
All right, everyone. This is Memphis Mark coming to you from Mullet Manor. That's right here, and we're going to do the NXT review for 11/7. And of course, they're getting ready for their next premium event, which is Deadline. And they've got some little twist in here, which I kind of like. We'll find out in a little bit. But they do the Halloween Havoc recap, which gives them a couple minutes airtime there. But it pretty much goes into controversy between Trick and Mello, maybe. Yeah, a little angle there. And then a new angle when Dragunov walks down the ramp and then gets behind the curtain and gets jumped by Baron Corbin. All right, so from that recap, we go right into the Heritage Cup Championship. You know, the 3-minute falls, 2 out of 3, 20 seconds between each match. Anyway, you got Cesaro and Noam Dar going for the cup. That big cup. It's a big trophy. It's the worst looking trophy league championship. All right, okay. First round a draw, and then it goes out 1-1 after that. Anyway, to spare, the match is not bad because you got Cesaro trying to use some of the Alpha Academy's moves, so he looks like he's learning or under the tutelage of Chad Gable. And then of course, with Noam, he wants to beat Cesaro with a submission move in front of Chad Gable. So that's kind of the match going through. Pretty much, Noam is going to win this one. And then, there's some shenanigans there, and, you got Alpha Academy in the ring, cleaning a mess up. So yeah, they go from there, to, this is something kind of new. It's, they're going to have guest, Hall of Famers, deciding these matches coming up for Deadline. And, this week it was, Mick Foley, Mankind, Brother Love. But yeah, it was a little bit of everybody there, but it's our favorite poet who didn't know it, or author, or, yeah, it's a little bit of everything, Mick Foley. But yeah, he is, they're having this Iron Survivor Challenge. So for Mick Foley's qualifying matches, he's going to have Valen Henry going up against Tiffany Stratton. And on the men's side, he's going to have Dijak and that big, strong boy, Tyler Bate. And so they're going to have qualifying matches tonight. Yeah, you know, not too bad. Bringing some of the old timers back, and I will get into it later on when they do their promo. But hey, we got a Memphis legend in the group, so I'm happy. They go from that to having a little locker room problem in the ladies' locker room. Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez, and they're kind of bragging, and Roxanne and that Jordan lady there, they kind of disagree, and they don't like the cockiness, and they're pretty much saying, y'all chill. And there's that Andrea, whatever, Grace, the pageant girl, It's a new gimmick they're coming up with her, and hey, she's pulling it off so far. So, it's so you're gonna have now a promo where you're gonna have our new ladies champion, our new NXT ladies champion, Lyra Valkyria, and she's coming to the ring to, get her flowers, to, do a little talking on the stick. And everything's good until Xia Li shows up. That could probably be a t-shirt. Everything's good till Xia Li shows up. Because she will kick you upside the head. And I'm not talking about oops upside the head. Said oops up. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about she will kick you upside the head. So yeah, she did it to a security guy tonight. So they had a Mark come in and take I hope he got a t-shirt and a $20 bill. That's usually what they did in the Memphis wrestling days. But, yeah, so Xia Li comes in, explains that she whooped the crap out of Becky, and she's going to whoop the crap out of her and take the belt. So, yeah, we got a good little setup there. Xia Li's, they're finally doing something with her. So, hey, what do you say? We might have something here. So, yeah, they go from there. We got a Tyler Bate, a big, strong boy. He's doing a promo of his new, hippie, whatever. But Tyler Bate, the big, strong boy, does his little spot. Let's see. All right. Yeah. Oh, and there one thing I did forget. The big, strong boy said somebody's going to be a spinning. So can you imagine Cesaro and Tyler Bate? I got to give it to Cesaro. But anyway, Tyler Bate does do a pretty good spin there. And then they got Valen Henry getting ready for her match with Tiffany Stratton, and she's there with Briggs and Jensen. And they're trying to fire her up. Trying to get her all fired up for this Iron Survivor match from Mick Foley's Picks. So yeah, they do their little spot, and they go, and they do a little spot with the ref. Now the ref is leaving HBK's office, that door with his name on it that he never has to be in, but a few times a year. And I want a job like that. But anyway, the ref is asked by TMZ. No, but I mean, he's asked, what went on in there? And he lets us know that there must be a winner in the Braun and Von Wagner match. But let's get this right. There must be a winner. Use your discretion. Alrighty. Okay, so we go from there. We've had the Valen promo with Briggs and Jensen, the ref spot. So we actually have the match now between Tiffany Stratton and Valen Henry. And, of course, they're going to have a good match. Wait a minute. There was a promo before that sets up another match. Before I get into the Tiffany and Fallon match, I'm not sure if it fell before that or after. I just screwed up on my notes. So you've got Alpha Academy in the back, and you have Gulak and Damon Kemp and the Miles Bourne and Mr. Dempsey, Chala Dempsey show up, and they start talking bad about Alpha Academy, and which is going to cause words. And Otis is apparently having his Saturday night fever kind of dance night, so he feels like dancing. So he challenges Drew Gulak to a match. But Gulak is pretty much going off and saying, why are you surrounding yourself with people? Good little, I guess, spot there. But sets up the match good, or whatever. So, and you got Dempsey in there hollering and screaming. So, yeah, we're setting up a few good matches on down the road. So, let's see here. Alrighty, and we got the Tiffany Stratton Valen Henry match. Now, that match is good. Now, both of these ladies are good. Now, Tiffany has definitely really broke out, and now she's doing her in-ring. Her ability in the ring has been kind of smoothed out, and she's pretty good there. And it's you give her somebody to work with, and you could have a really good match. It's building up that consistency, of course, and not being a gymnast that's trying to be a wrestler, but a wrestler that happened to used to be a gymnast. And like Miss Jordan earlier, she's a gymnast trying to be a wrestler, and Tiffany has kind of, I think, changed over to a wrestler that used to be a gymnast. But anyway, the match is pretty good. They got their little angles and everything. It is a iron. Let me see with that one. Yes, it's a Iron Survivor match. So in this one, Tiffany's going to win. But it's a good match. The ladies put on a good show. Nothing wrong there. They had all that build up and all that crap before it, but the ladies pulled off a good match as usual, and Tiffany ends up winning this one with a little shenanigans. It seems to be the theme of the show. Some shenanigans going on there. But yeah, we go from there. Let's turn the notes over to we got Mr. Wesley is showing back up. And he's pretty much saying, did you think I was gone? Do you think I just left? Or whatever like that. He's back, and he's going after his belt, and he's not going anywhere. So good little spot with him. He's kind of in like Ricochet's interview area. They sound like a great interview at a Comic-Con or something like that. They just don't sound too wrestling to me. So, but they're working on it, I'm sure, and they'll get that corrected because Wesley is a talented young man. And then you got Braun Breaker doing his spot before his match, and he's gonna break everybody's turkey leg and do what he does. You know what he does? Yeah, that's what he does. So they've got a match coming up, and then you've got Dijak that's kind of thankful to Mick Foley, the hardcore legend, because he must not like the big strong boy, because he put him in the ring with Dijak. So he doesn't understand the reasoning or the rhyme, but he's appreciative for this easy challenge. So that's what we got there for that Iron Survivor challenge. But yeah, this is all leading up to what back in the day would have been some kind of revenge match. It would have been I don't know. There's just so many options out there. But instead it's just a match. You've got Braun Breaker going against Von Wagner with Mr. Stone. You've got two guys. Well, you've got Braun that, of course, is already built up, and they've already got them a car driving down the road. Everything's working good. Now they're just adding accessories, getting them ready for that main stretch. But with Von, he's still they're still working out a couple issues. He's got a front end problem here or there. And they're still trying to, hey, and actually, I didn't mean that, but, yeah, Vaughn has, in this match, he has a couple of tendencies to where he flashbacks to, with some, probably some, horizontal issues, some, vertigo or, whatever you want to call that. But he has to play that in. But, yeah, after all of the commercials and everything, they come back. You've got Braun Breaker going against Von Wagner. We Mr. Stone. And Braun comes out with all his glory, but Von Wagner comes out with no headband on. And you know what? I just mentioned in the Tazara match earlier, Tazara had a headband on, and for the first few minutes, he was trying every doggone thing he could to keep that headband on. And that might be the key to that match. Going back and watching the draw match, the first round, and going back and watching Tazara trying to keep that headband on. But anyway, we're in the Von Wagner and Braun Breaker match, and he comes out without his head dressing, without any protective gear. And you've got HBK that's told the ref that we must have a winner. Use your discretion. HBK, or at least a sign on a door. Yeah, the match itself is pretty good. Braun puts on a good match, and he's in there with somebody that's his size, of course he's taller and everything, but Braun's they're both D1 athletes, and they're both, of course, Braun grew up in the business and Von's learning. But, Braun's still a little rough in some spots. Von's rough in quite a few spots, but they're working on that. Braun's just like a diamond. They're just shining. They just got to get the right buffing pad, and then bam, you'll see that extra couple carats in there. But yeah, the match is pretty good. Good little slammer jammer. They get outside. There's some, some licks thrown, some little damage done, but it all leads up to Mr. Stone, because if you're going to have a manager, you've got to include him in your angle, in your storyline, in your ending or your start. So they do it in the ending, and I kind of like the way this played out, to be perfectly honest. You've got both of them beating the crap out of each other. And actually, I'm going to watch this live while I'm talking about it. Braun gets some really good. They both represent good. Braun, of course, gets a few other spots to where he's got a little more. And Mr. Stone, as much as he helps, he hurts in there. I guess he's on-the-job training also, I guess, but Braun's going to get some big spears and and he's going to go after his head, of course, because that's the damaged component on this big machine. So, when he does his fallbacks or his slams or his suplexes or everything's, and of course the announcers are going to make sure that we know that every blow is going to his noggin. But I think they work pretty good together. But Braun, they're really building something up there, because they're letting him throw around another top prospect. So, once Braun pulls down the tights, does old Jerry Lawler in the Mid-South Coliseum. Well, Jerry Lawler only pulled down one strap and whooped the crap out of you, but he pulls it down and he goes into that Stana Ariclana, and it looks like it's all over So once they do that, of course, Von's going to get out of there, but some big, again, punches to the head. So, I enjoyed watching this match. I like a big guys match, if they can work together. And they both got thrown around. Von had his comebacks, of course. A couple of times I was like, oh no, they're going to have Braun moving, and Von goes typically into the turnbuckle or something, but they didn't. They gave him a chance, and they let Braun look vulnerable for just a couple of seconds. Just a couple of seconds. But Von gets a chance at a pin and goes outside, and of course is trying to put Braun through the table, because he said he had a table for him. So as he's setting that table up, Braun goes low, goes south, goes after the gonads, the tropical punch, and lays down Von. Mr. Stone acts like he's going to go after a chair. Braun, of course, puts his attention on him, won't let him pick the chair up, and which causes all this distraction, where he then gets Mr. Stone up over his head, getting ready to put him through the desk. And he doesn't get a chance. Von pulls him down, but gets speared, put back in the ring, speared again, and then you've got Von losing, and you've got Braun Breaker winning this match. But after the match, Mr. Stone hits Braun with a chair, and Braun shows that it hurts a little bit, and then goes and puts that hand on his throat and tells him he's about to do what he did to that cripple behind that's laid out in the ring. And then, of course, Von comes up, gives a good kick to the midsection, and does a very good power bomb through the desk. So, good little ending to that match, on a bigger stage and a bigger deal. A little more writing in there. I could see a little something there. Yeah, I liked it. I liked it. But let's see. You've got Melo's going to do a little promo, and they're talking about Trick coming out and who attacked Trick. So that's the big question. And of course, Melo's saying that he's going to talk to Trick face to face. But then we're going to have our other match, from the argument in the ladies' locker room, which was Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez going against Roxanne Perez and Miss Jordan. And of course, Lola is a little riding the cloud since she won the breakout tournament. So they're doing good, and this match is good. All these ladies work. Jordan is the young one in this bunch, and she does pretty good in this. A little out of control in a couple of her because she's a gymnast becoming a wrestler. And you've got like Lola, which is more of with some MMA training. I'm not sure the full extent. But she's converting over. And I always wondered, if you really knew how to hit somebody, well, I can say in boxing, I hit a spot. I don't hit your side of your face. I'm hitting a spot on your face. So I wonder how that works when you try to hold back. But Miss Jordan in this match, she's going to end up getting the win. And she has some good moves in here and looks pretty good. But they bring this Ariana Grace. She comes out and she's talking before the match or right at the match starting, and then afterwards. So, you've got Jordan getting the surprise win. And then Ariana Grace coming out talking some more. And this Carmen Petrovic comes out and tells her, shut up. And lays a little hammer down on her. So I'm sure they're going to have the beauty queen going against Carmen next week. And then we've got a Joe Gacy sighting or a promo. I don't know if he's hurt or they're just figuring things out with him, but they got a little promo with him, and it's a little Bray Wyatt-ish, so Bray Wyatt maybe channeling through him. I don't know. We'll see. And you've got Dragunov doing a little promo about Baron Corbin, and then you've got. Yeah, they try to make it interesting. But anyway, you're going to have Alpha Academy, Otis representing. And then from the other goons, you're going to have Drew Gulak. And it's pretty much kind of see who's the better coach there. And in this match, Drew has his spots because Drew is great. He's really good. And he's working with a bowling ball, a tree stump, and he makes Otis look good. But Otis was in a dancing mood. He was shucking and jiving. He was shaking his hips. He was doing the best he can. And I saw a dance promo. I think was it after that or after was it a tape earlier? But when they were all up in there dancing, and the Alpha Academy, and there was no rhythm. There was no rhythm. It set all white people back dancing. It was just terrible. He did. I was offended myself. But yeah, you've got Otis in there, and Otis is going to end up pulling off the win in this match. But Otis does get to throw him up in the air at one time, and you got Dempsey and all the guys outside raising Kane also. So yeah, all right. So pretty decent match, as I said. Otis wins this match. So even with the tie ups, I mean, how do you tie up a bowling ball anyway? But yeah, it comes out as it will. Let me see here. So, after that, they go into Tiffany Stratton and Kiana James pretty much patting each other on the back, but they may end up facing each other. So, they're just, and a funny dude in the back with a mask on, too. There's a funny dude in the back. I don't know what that angle was. So, somebody in like a tall crew cut and a mask, full face mask. Anyway, behind the ladies, and as they pat each other on the back. And then you've got a Chase U promo where JC Jane's waiting on Andre, and some kind of odd characters show up with an envelope for Mr. Chase. And JC takes it, and she's going to look. She looks in there, and she even goes like, what? And and then Andre shows up and catches her and says, hey, that's a federal crime, and does his Gomer the Pile. And then everybody shows up. You got Thea and Duke, and so you got the champs there. And, some odd things going on there. So we will see. But Duke finds out for the first time that they have a return match with Tony D and Stax. So, what was in that letter? Some bad, a bad picture or something. There's so many angles. But then you've got Dijak and the big strong boy in a match, and that you're going to have a good match. They're going to have a good match. Dijak is getting better and better, and Tyler Bate is just solid. So they have a good match, and it's worth going back and checking out, to tell you the truth. Dijak does a couple of moves in here. He lands on his feet on a flip, although he doesn't follow it up with a kick. He does like a kick to the head. It's like he spins and just kicks him in the head. Anyway, it could have been more spectacular, but I'm not the one trying to kick somebody upside the head either after I just flipped off the second rope, maybe, or top rope even, maybe. I'm not sure, but good match. Go back and check it out. I like it. And because of a distraction, a couple little somethings, a little shenanigans, Dijak is going to end up getting this match. So I'm sure there's another angle for Tyler to be more kind of in his peace mode and have some more meditation there. But Dijak ends up with the win. And then you've got Trick showing up in I believe it was a Challenger, but it wasn't a V8 Challenger. He just showed up in like some little rental car. It looked nice or whatever. He showed up and was like me. I expect him to show up with a deep-throated V8 or what. Anyway, so and then they kind of give a little promo on who's going to be making some of these matches, the Iron Challenge matches. So you had Mick Foley tonight. You're going to have JBL. Lita is next week. And then, of course, my guy from Memphis, Jerry the King Lawler. And it's going to be great that he's back there doing something. So fantastic to see that. But then we have the ending of the show, which is going to be Mello calling Trick out. And look, my boys, 3-6 Mafia must be getting paid. They must, because Trick's got it on his jacket now. Whoop that Trick. So, Terrence Howard is in town this weekend, actually, right now. 18 years after that movie come out. He's promoting a new movie that he's got coming out now in cinemas. So, but yeah, you've got Mello and Trick out there, cutting it up, and the crowd's loving it. And then Alexis King, Mr. Pillman, comes out of nowhere, and he puts another twist, another angle into the angle. So, and they keep telling Lexus, hey, look, man, grown folk talking. And he, Trick finally gets mad and says, hey, I told you, grown folk talking. And he drops the mic and goes to swing, and Lexus King moves, and Trick lays out Mello. So the ending of the show is Trick going over and apologizing, and Mello, of course, after a while, accepts it. But when he, Trick gives him the hug, Mello's got that look. We got a little something, another angle in the angle. But, all right, guys. So, pretty good show. They're leading up to Deadline. Our NXT guys that have gone over to the main roster, they're doing good. So everything looking up for the NXT brand is a farm club, I guess, straight into the main rosters. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. Before I say something or do something wrong, I think we've done everything right. So anyway, help them rescues, them shelters out if you can. Always spay and neuter. Oh, seriously, spay and neuter. If you've got pups out there, get them fixed. And if you can, get them kittens and cats fixed. But yeah, spay and neuter. And hey, guys, this is Memphis Mark. And you know what? From out here somewhere in Bucksnort, Tennessee, possibly, we're out.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.